Gemmel finishing behind Voss and Pitchford.
After 79 stages that covered nearly 1,200 kilometers of fast gravel road racing all across South Africa, we have a tie at the top. It's something that's never happened before in the history of the Sasol South African Rally Championship.
It all started just 8 months ago with round 1 of this year's championship, the Total Tour Natal. The defending champion, Hergen Fecken, had high hopes of getting his season off to a rapid start. But trouble on the very first stage of the year took the entire BP Volkswagen squad out of contention, allowing Johnny Gemmel to record the first victory of the year. Fecken turned the tables with a great win on Toyota's event in the Western Cape, and with Gemmel only managing third, the same as Fecken's result in Natal, the scores were level. From round 3 of the championship, the popular Sasol Rally in Mpumalanga, it was clear that the championship turned into a 2-horse race with Gemmel and Fecken trading faster stage times throughout the event. With just 1 stage to go, the rivals were tied with not even a second to separate them. Gemmel drove like a man possessed over the final few kilometers to take the win by 4 seconds and to move back into the championship lead. Round 4, the Rally of South Africa in the forests around Ermelo in Mpumalanga. These roads are rough and demanding, and it didn't take long before they claimed a victim. Gemmel picked up a puncture which cost him a few minutes and any chance to compete for victory. Fecken's performance was a dominant one, resulting in his second win and a 6-point lead. Then came the Volkswagen Rally in the Eastern Cape, the rally that Volkswagen wanted to win most, and they did exactly that. Fecken claimed the top step of the podium yet again, in what turned out to be a dream result for the BP squad as they occupied all 3 steps, with Gemmel relinquishing more valuable points due to a dreaded misfire under the bonnet of his Toyota. The points difference was now a full 14 points in Fecken's favour, but a puncture on the very first stage of round 6, the Osram Rally in the mountains around Berkeley East, quickly turned the tables once again. Fecken could only manage 7, while Gemmel dominated from the front to record his 3rd victory of the season. 11 of the 14 points disappeared, leaving Fecken in front by only 3 points with 2 rounds to go. Round 7, the penultimate round in this year's championship, had all the ingredients for an epic battle. But a mistake by the champion early on day 2 nearly cost him any chance of championship glory. But he still managed a 5th place finish. Gemmel wasn't really able to capitalize on Fecken's misfortune, but a 3rd place finish still meant 3 more points, exactly what he needed to close the gap. With 145 points each, it's a dead heat at the top of the championship points table. With only 1 rally, 12 stages or 160 kilometers of special stage distance to go, this is a first in the history of the Sasol South African Rally Championship.
What makes the championship even more intriguing is a dropped score rule where teams only count their best 7 results from the 8-event series. Both are currently on 145 points, but Fecken must throw away 14 points and Gemmel must throw away 15. That effectively leaves Fecken with a 1-point advantage.
It may sound confusing, but the championship scenario is that if both Fecken and Gemmel finish inside the top 4, whoever is ahead will be crowned champion. If Gemmel is 4th or lower, he must finish 2 places or more ahead of Fecken, otherwise the final tally will once again be a tie, and Fecken will become the champion on a countback to 2nd place results, as both drivers have 3 wins each.
I bet my house is definitely me.
I'll win it.
I think it'll be a draw.
Oh, Johnny, absolutely. Johnny's going to take it.
No comment at this stage.
I say Hergen can do it.
Whether it's currently a tie or a 1-point lead, Fecken will feel the pressure as he has to beat Gemmel.
Yeah, I think there is a bit of pressure on us, but I think, pressure is something you put on yourself. I'm going to try and keep it calm and do what we normally do. We've been doing it for a lot of years, so we just drive as fast as we can, stay on the road.
But I think the pressure is slightly more on Johnny because, he hasn't won a championship yet.
Johnny Gemmel knows that the current champion is out there to beat him and to prevent him from winning his first ever overall rally championship.
No, we're also here to beat him. We need to beat him in the first 3 or 4 positions, and then we can win the championship. Yeah, a bit of pressure, but don't let it get to me. I'd rather save my energy and thoughts for the stages.
With most eyes on Gemmel and Fecken for championship glory, it's easy to forget that the remaining top South African rally crews, like 6-time champion Jan Habig, will still be fighting for a victory on the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally.
It's obviously the last event of the year, so I think they have got a big fight on their hands, and we'll sit and watch and see how it goes. But I think from our perspective, we'll try and go and win the event. It's not a bad idea.
Besides Fecken and Gemmel, Mark Grenier is the only other driver to taste champagne from the top step of the podium this year. He is also involved in a fight with Habig for third on the points table.
Yeah, absolutely. We've worked it out right down to the drop points. I think we've got a great shot. We've had a rough start to our season, and it's going to work out nicely.
Although former champion Enzo Keane is out of the running for championship glory this season, the Capetonian could still play a huge role in the outcome of this year's title fight.
Yes, I think I'm here to play a supportive role, and it's going to be interesting today, especially now with the wet, so I'm looking forward to seeing a good show from where I'm positioned.
On a good day, Jean-Pierre Damso can easily mix it up with the front runners, something which Toyota will count on during this decisive event. In the non-factory or second division S2000 class, Jaapie van die Kerk could once again be a top runner based on his speed from earlier in the season.
That's a new division, but I'll take that class, yes. We've been going every rally trying harder, keeping it neater, and also developing the car. But
popular Cape Town-based Spaniard Fernando Rueda has finally found the speed that he was looking for throughout the season and will hope to end it off on a high note.
Certainly I am. Unless it was a lot better. I must say we're getting to grip with the car finally. It's taken a long time, as I told you, but yeah, the car is much better. I'm getting a lot more confident. I'm comfortable in the car, and we're going to, give it all here.
Polokwane businessman Tian Subert has finished 10th or better in 6 of this year's events and will have the map reading services of Scotsman Drew Sturrock.
We're the least experienced team in the class, and we decided to bring Drew in. He's quite experienced, although he's young. He's with the UK Rally Academy, and they get trained by the likes of Paul Mills.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be, good stages. They look good on the DVD and that, so, and the notes seem to work well, so I'm looking forward to it, yeah.
Former Northern Regions rally champion Schalk Burger Jr. will make his debut in the top S2000 class.
It's a new benchmark. You work your whole career up to this moment, and now you're there, and now you have to perform. So there's some pressure on me.
The Toyota dealer Gauteng rally is now the final battleground of this year's championship. The stages are spread out between Witbank and Middelburg in Mpumalanga, and the Mealie Fields are at Babsfontein on the East Rand, bringing gravel road racing to the doorstep of millions of Gauteng residents.
For 2009, no less than 3 motorsport clubs collaborated to present the 2009 Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally. The stages around Witbank, Middelburg and Babsfontein traditionally provide a tough test of both man and machine, as they can dish up anything from sand to dust and now also mud with rough spots and jumps in between. Not exactly what you want when you have to drive on or even over the limits in an effort to be crowned South African champion. The 2009 Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally consists of 12 special stages covering a distance of over 300 kilometers, with 160 of those against the stopwatch. All of Friday's 4 stages will be contested near Middelburg and Witbank before the rally moves to Babsfontein for the final showdown on Saturday. Just before the start at Barloworld Toyota, it was time for the country's 6 fastest drivers to once again draw for their respective starting positions. As the stages are wet following torrential rain the night before, starting positions were less important than normal. Enzo Keane wasn't too unhappy about opening the road, followed by championship contenders Hergen Fecken and Johnny Gemmel. JP Damso would start the last event of the year in 4th, ahead of Jan Habig and the Toyota of Mark Grenier. At nearly 32 kilometers, stage 1 of the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally gave the competitors no chance to warm up or get used to the tricky and wet conditions. Rallies are often lost or even won on the first stage, as a large gap to the leader could prove to be too much to make up over the rest of the event.
1, go!
The real start of the 2009 Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally and the start of the final battle in this year's championship. The BP Ultimate Polo of Enzo Keane and Guy Hodgson was the first car to break the Friday silence as they blasted into a wet stage 1. Keane seemed to have found new form in the latter part of the season, and it showed as he masterfully crossed the flying finish in a time of 19 minutes and 25 seconds.
You've got to watch the slippy or you could end up in a fence bowl. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Championship leaders Hergen Fecken and Pierre Arries were now also in stage 1 and chasing hard in the second of the BP Ultimate Polos. It is often Fekken's strategy to catch the competition off guard in a single stage, and like the great champions of the past, he chose to make his move on the first stage of the event.
400k kink left one, right one of a small jump at the red arrows. Then 100 kink, right one, left one, go, go. 100 kink, right one, left one into K dip. And bump and another bump. K jump, 150, small bump.
His time, 19 minutes and 20 seconds. A great start for the champions.
We did make a few mistakes, so I'm not too happy with it, but the time seems all right.
Fekken's time was 5 seconds faster than Keen's, but the real fight is with Johnny Gemmel and Peter Marsh. The co-championship leaders were also pushing hard, knowing that they can't allow their rivals to open up an early lead. But halfway through stage 1, the Castrol Toyota Auris suffered a setback. Gemmel spun and stalled the car, followed by an agonizing few seconds to get the engine running.
Yeah, a few slippery corners there. One of them caught us out a bit, but all right otherwise.
The luckless JP Damso and Andre Vermeulen's terrible season continued when they rolled the Team Total Evolution Toyota Runex in stage 1.
We didn't finish this rally. This rally's not good to us. And it looks like it's the same. The whole season's been going. With, a terrible year this year, and I think I'm just glad this year's over.
6 times Drivers Champion Jan Habig and 7 times Navigators Champion Douglas Judd started the event third on the overall points table. But teammate Keen and Mark Ronier were closing in, forcing Habig to still drive hard on the final event of the year. The BP Ultimate Polo had a less than perfect start to the event, crossing the flying finish in a time of 19 minutes and 47 seconds, losing a full 27 seconds to his teammate Fekken. Besides Fekken and Gemmel, Castrol Toyota's Mark Ronier and Robert Paisley was the only other pairing to taste victory in 2009. Ronier is fresh from a win the month before and had a huge role to play in the overall championship fight, but a power steering problem halfway through stage 1 didn't help. Ronier only managed a time of 19 minutes and 49 seconds.
Yes? No power steering.
Japie van Niekerk and Robin Houghton rolled their new Africa Developments Toyota Runex in the wet sand during the shakedown stage before the rally even started. The damage was minimal and the pair still managed to start the rally and set the 6th fastest time on stage 1. The Salom Group Volkswagen Polo of Tiens Hubert with Scotsman Drew Starrock in the hot seat recorded the 7th fastest time in stage 1, but nearly a minute off the leading pace.
Slippery, the place is very wet, slide around, and it's very, if you get into the plowed lands, it's loose.
Former Northern Regions champions Skalk Burger and Armand de Tooy were nervous about their Class S2000 national debut in the Skalk Burger Motorsport Toyota Runex. The son of former rally great Skalk Burger Sr. got rid of his butterflies in his stomach by setting the 8th fastest time. For the final rally of 2009, Fernando Rueda once again joined forces with former navigator Dave Lefkowitz inside the Team Total Evolution Toyota Runex. Rueda was nearing the end of his first season in the top S2000 class and started off by setting the 9th fastest time. The Cecil, Konica Minolta Subaru of Charles Wilkin and Greg Godrich already wrapped up the production car category halfway through the season, but unfortunately for their many fans, the car and 2 of its technicians perished during a road accident the month before. In Wilkins' absence, relative newcomer Chart Coetzee and former driver turned navigator Etienne Lawrence won the opening stage in the production car category. The Midas Subaru also managed to set the 10th fastest time behind the string of S2000 cars.
It's early days of the Toyota dealer Gauteng rally, but Fekken already has a 5-second lead over teammate Kuhn. But more importantly though is the 23-second lead over championship rival Johnny Gemmel. Habig and Ronier are nearly half a minute back and will have it all to do if they want to help their teammates settle the championship. After the break, Toyota dealer Gauteng rally action continues with 2 more wet stages in and around Witbank and Middelburg. Hergen Fekken has moved 1 step closer to retaining his title by taking the early initiative. But Gemmel has shown in the past that he can handle the pressure. So this battle is crowned the 2009 champions. Hergen Fekken blasted out of the blocks and straight into the lead. The